Oh, hi everybody. This will be a quick one. The other day I was starting to assemble this FJ60 body. It is printed in PLA, and usually with printed bodies I just assembled them with CA. I'd lap it, some styrene, and glue it, and then I'd have a seam to fill with CA or filler or whatever, and you could still kind of see it. That's why I smeared that CA on. You can still, I haven't sanded that out. And not too long ago I got one of those 3D pens just to play with, thinking maybe I could fill the gap or assemble the bodies with it. So I have some blue PLA loaded into this. So I thought to myself, though, will that be hot enough to stick the body together and hold it without breaking? And then I thought maybe I could use a soldering iron to heat and kind of do the welding of the seam, and then I could fill the seam with the 3D pen. And it worked pretty well. This was the little test I did. So that was just one pass. I clamped the body together with some spring clamps, made sure that the panel lines were all lined up and everything. And then I just took the soldering iron, and actually I did on this side, and then I went in the seam, and then I melted in some blue PLA, and it's holding together pretty well. So let's demonstrate for you how I did it. Now I'm just going to do a little bit because I don't have a lot of ventilation in here, and I'm sure that this is bad for you. Okay, so you can see it fused the two halves together. We'll do a little on this side too. And I did sand away the primer so that the 3D pen PLA can stick to that surface. Fire this thing up. This is just a cheap one I got on Amazon. It was like $25 or $30, if even. So you want to make sure you have the same kind of material that the body is. Load it up. And I have it set on like medium-low speed. Maybe I'll slow it down just a little bit. Hot. So now we could let this harden and then we could sand it down, but I want to make sure that it blended in. So I'll take the soldering iron with like the flat tip on it here and then kind of smooth it out. Being careful not to melt the body. Because then we'll have to fill more. Under here, just to show you, we can just get it nice and flat. So this would probably look better inside than a strip of styrene reinforcing it. Like if you had a fully detailed interior or in this instance like an opening hood, and you didn't want this big seam line going down, so I could sand this smooth and all that stuff. I'm gonna let this cool for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna file it off. It looked like that was like a new soldering tip I just put on. It looked like it was like pre-tinned or something. There's like a little bit of metal in there, but it's just on the top. That'll come out. I'm just gonna use a hand file to knock this down. Alternatively, you could use sandpaper or sanding block or something, but this moves material pretty quick here. Nice and smooth. I'll knock this down, and then we'll put some primer on it. And we'll just hit it with a sanding stick real quickly. Feels pretty smooth. I'll go out, hit this with a coat of primer, and we'll see how it turned out. For this, I'm going to be using Rust-Oleum Automotive, a 2-in-1 filler primer. Let's watch the paint dry together. Okay, primer is dry. That looks pretty nice. There's a little bit of a crack or something there. Maybe. Here it looks good. So that's great for flat stuff because it's easy to sand and smooth, but it could probably get a little trickier in these detail areas. So the more I do these printed bodies, finishing them, you know, you learn that there's not a one-size-fits-all type solution for finishing and assembly and stuff. So I'm gonna probably stick with it, at least for this body, with this method. I'm gonna do the soldering thing and filler and see how it holds up. At the very least, I like it for the inside. So that's it. Maybe you'll try it, or maybe you won't. I don't care. I'm just kidding. I hope you like it, and I hope you like me, and I hope you like my videos, and I'd really like you to like and share and subscribe and leave me a comment and tell me how great I am. Bye-bye.